Eddie Roberts, quite a famous man in British paddocks, motorcycle race paddocks, and probably around the globe, in fairness. You've been around a while. I don't mean to make that sound like you're an old guy, but you know, you're getting near to me. And but you're here with the Kramer team, and in fact the manager of the Kramer team, and I'd like you to tell the folk what this is all about.
Well, at my age, should I be doing this? Yeah, of course I should say. I love this sport, as you do. Last couple of years we've been racing in the ICGP, which is International Classic GP, with Mike Edwards on a TZ350. Very successfully. Well done, Mike. He was European champion. But we were in Rijeka last year in Croatia, and I met up with Marcus Kramer. He was racing there in the European Singles Championship. And immediately I saw these bikes. I thought, wow, racing is going through a difficult time at the moment, with super sport bikes not being manufactured anymore, or only by Yamaha. And there's a gap appearing that needs to be filled. And immediately I saw these bikes. I kind of fell in love with them, because to me they're proper racing bikes. They're designed to race rather than being a road bike and then converted to a race bike. And when I went into it a little bit more with Marcus Kramer, who's the owner of Kramer Motorcycles, another bike nut, complete bike racing man himself, I took on the job of importing the bikes and building this race team for Thundersport to show the bike in the UK. I believe in the bike. I think that says a lot, because if you believe in something, you'll make it. I always remember the Spitfire. All the pilots said, you know, it looked right and it was right. And I think pretty much it goes the same with the Kramer bike. It looks right and it is right. It's proved it so far in its first event. We're hoping at Alton Park that we'll have some good results too. But for me, I want to see race bikes available that people can get on, ride them, and get off smiling. Having a real good time riding that bike, which was pretty much like I used to do. I remember when I got my first TZ750 at TT, and I got off the bike and I was not smiling to it, but you know, I was shaking, and you know, get back on a 350 and go, oh, fantastic, I'm enjoying this again. And that's the kind of thing I think I see here.
Well, they look fun to ride. Obviously, only done one round here at Thundersport, and I think it surprised a lot of people because it was straight up there at the front, mixing it with Johnny Towers, who, you know, is a very good rider actually, and he's got an exceptionally good bike. Now that you've got a good pilot, you know, in Lucas Wimmer, but the machine is good as well, because he's got something he can work with, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, I know Johnny well. I've known him for a long time. I know what a great competitor he is. I mean, his bike is pretty much perfect. He's a good rider. He saw this bike and came across and just shook his head and went, wow, you know. So that again says a lot about the bike. The bike comes as you see it. This bike that Lukey is riding is a stock bike that Kramer makes ready to go on the racetrack, and that's the beauty of them. You literally put some decent fuel in it from a petrol pump, not from a airport or whatever, and you go racing. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to buy wheels. You have to buy suspension. You don't buy anything at all. The bike is ready, as it says on the tin, ready to race. This bike is exactly the same as what we would be selling to the first customer in the UK. So from that point, it's very rare. I don't think it's ever, unless you buy a Motor 3 bike, there's nothing else like it.
So with regard to the spec, I'd be right in thinking that it's 690 KTM lump, yes?
Yeah, 690, basic KTM Duke engine. A little bit, they just make sure everything's perfect, top end, the compressor's all right. This is all done in the factory before the bike's delivered. So as I say, ready to push the starter and away you go.
And so, were this to become very fashionable, which I suspect it will be, and not before too long, Kramer would be prepared to offer backup. So one of the worrying things for some folk would be, where do you get the parts?
Well, that's why I've become the importer. We've got our first consignment of bikes during the next week. So we will have bikes, of which we will have one as a demonstrator of any serious people who seriously want to have a go on one, we can actually arrange that to happen. We'll be carrying full backup. I'll be at every Thundersport event anyway, and as time goes on, we'll be bringing customer spares and this kind of thing, and advice on how to set up if they want to change small things. The bike is a racing bike, so it's adjustable. You know, you can change it to your own requirements, how you like a steeper head angle or all this kind of thing to make it to your own, which again I think is a great thing for people to learn how to set up race bikes.
Well, it's very advantageous, and I mean, a lot of teams, big teams in the World Championship paddocks have learned to their peril not to set a bike up around a rider, because the one movable thing is, of course, a rider, and they come in all shapes and sizes, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I mean, some riders, I mean, Luke is a very intelligent man. He's doing some fancy degree at university, which is beyond me. But we have Ali here, who's been with me for quite a few years, Ali Grant, who's been an excellent mechanic, and these are minor information. That's all there for everybody who ends up with a Kramer. We are willing to sort of just tell everybody what our experience is and why we can help them. So that will be at every event, from what we intend it to be from Thundersport. I think that's really all I can say about that side of things. You know, we have the bikes, we have the support.
Well, the message is then, watch this space, because good things are coming. And as I say, I for one, am certainly very excited about the prospect, I have to say.
We are looking to build on this. We are looking to make it in a championship, within a championship, or a championship standing on its own 2 feet. Of course, that involves getting sponsors in and all the rest of it, but I'm working very hard on that. I have a good business partner, George Beale, who's my colleague in the ICGP, who's much better at that kind of thing than me, so hopefully we'll be able to pull something together that benefits everybody.
Top man, thanks, Eddie.
You're very welcome, Steve. Thank you.